Okay, I want to give a trigger warning first. This case contains talks about self-harm.
Okay.
It's July 12th, 2014, and 17-year-old Michelle Carter texts her boyfriend's sister. Hey, Camden, it's Michelle Carter. I don't know if you remember me, but I'm dating your brother again. Haha. Does your mom know where he is? The next day, she messages Camden again, asking if they found him. She responds with no. And Michelle tells her just to keep positive and they will find him soon. That morning of July 13th, Conrad Roy was found passed away in his grandfather's black truck behind a Kmart parking lot with a gas-powered water pump in the front seat. Hello, my name is Amadi, and with me is my friend,
The Grin.
And welcome to our channel, a place where we don't shy away from gruesome details where some things may be triggering and hard to hear. So get yourself in the right frame of mind and let's talk about dark shit.
Let's do it.
Can I start off with, we just hit 100 subscribers on YouTube. That is awesome.
Thank you so much. That is so incredible. Like, I know that's a small number, but as soon as I saw that, I was like, wow. That I don't know, it hit me. I was like, that's amazing.
It is, because it's not just our friends and family.
No joke, you guys. We started off this months ago. Year ago? No, not yet. But it has been a while. It's been a minute. And at first, it was literally like our first 5-6 episodes, maybe even first 10 episodes. It was just friends and family.
To be honest, it was just your family. You have a big family.
Thank you to my family.
I know. Thank you, guys.
But now it's not just them.
No, I know.
It's incredible.
Yeah. So, yeah. Thank you, guys.
Thank you so much, you guys.
So to start off, Conrad Roy was born September 4th, 1995, from Mattapoisett, Massachusetts. And he was described by his mother as happy, super loving, very smart boy. And he was just greatly loved by all his family members. He has 2 sisters who adore him. He's the big brother. And then we have Michelle Carter, born August 11th, 1996, from Plainville, Massachusetts. So between Mattapoisett and Plainville, that's like a 50-minute drive.
Okay.
So, and she was described as happy, bubbly girl, respectful to her elders. Both of them, basically, they just had pretty normal middle-class childhoods. The both of them end up meeting in 2011 when they were both around the ages of 15, 16 years old. Conrad and his family go to Florida to visit his great aunt. And at the same time, Michelle and her family go to Florida to visit family. And they end up meeting each other because the great aunt introduces them. They get to know each other. They get along. They end up going to get some ice cream, riding bikes along the beach. You know, a cute little day.
Absolutely. We love those.
It's adorable. And after that, they decided to keep in touch. It's not clear when, but they end up having a boyfriend-girlfriend relationship. Sometime in 2011, Conrad's parents end up separating. He was 16 years old. And this was said to have affected his mental state greatly. His mother said he was rough on himself. He really struggled with just disappointing her and his dad. And before they divorced, they were a bit volatile with each other. His father charged his mother for assault because they got into an argument and then she struck him on the side of the face.
Damn. Wow. Okay.
His father did notice that right before school started back up, things seemed a bit off with Conrad. Conrad told his father that he thinks he is losing his memory and he was having racing thoughts. He also recorded himself a few times. He was mainly talking about, I think, just his feelings and putting things out there, trying to, I think, talk himself through things. He had social anxiety. So he was, I don't know, listening to him talk in his videos, because you can find them. He seems like somebody just you want to talk to. I don't know how to describe his videos, but it's very interesting hearing him talk.
Like someone who's like, oh, I want to hang out with that person and talk to them, or curiosity.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. But he, in his little videos, he was just talking about his social anxiety. And he knows that, with friends and family telling him like things will be okay. Like he knew it, but he didn't fully believe it. He was depressed with all these emotions that was going on. So his parents end up taking him to the doctor. They did diagnose him with depression, and for that they prescribed him psychiatric drugs, an antidepressant called Celexa, and he was only 16. Things started to escalate for Conrad around the month of October. On October 10th, 2012, Conrad messages Michelle that he was in the hospital all last week for attempting to end himself.
Okay.
In that month of October, he did attempt it 2 different times. One of the times he attempted to drown himself, and he told his parents about it. And another time he took a lot of acetaminophen.
Over-the-counter drug?
Yes. At that time, his mom just left for work, and he decided to take a handful of it.
Is it like pain medication?
It's for headaches, like ibuprofen, Tylenol, that kind of stuff.
Okay.
But after he took it, he called his friend, told him about it, and they immediately called help, 911. The EMTs got there just in time, and they were able to pump his system. He tells Michelle when he was in the hospital that, I guess he was in there for a week, he told her that he saw the devil, and the devil told him to end it all. Michelle responds with that she also sees the devil. She sees him all the time. And Conrad tells her that he thinks they belong together, that the devil brought us together. Throughout that day of October 10th, she asked him if he still felt that way, with ending his life. And his response was, yes, I'm still going to do it. That there are voices inside his head telling him to do it. They're telling him to either do it by drowning, pills, or hanging. And the reason he wanted her to know about this is in case she messages him and he doesn't answer back. He just wanted to let her know.
Have they tried getting him help? Yeah,
he was already on antidepressants.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
At this time, Michelle's like 15, 16. They're teenagers. She's still a little girl.
Yeah.
Okay. So of course, she's going to be worried, and she wanted to get him help. She would tell him things like, you have so much to live for. Please don't. That night, she had to go to practice, and he continued to tell her that he might not be alive by the time she gets out of practice. She responds with, this is her texting, I just want you to know that you are one of the most amazing guys I've ever met, and you made me really happy. I'm so proud of what you have accomplished with rowing, and I admire how strong you were to go back to school, and I will really miss you, babe. I thought that was weird that, yes, he was telling her that I might not be back, and she doesn't want him to do this, but I thought it was really weird that she was saying all this in like the past tense.
I was going to say, like, the wording is weird. Right? Like, it's almost like, okay, if you're gone, you're gone.
That's what it sounds like. But in her texts beforehand, she's like, please don't do this. Like, you have so much to live for. I don't feel like this. But she still had her own things to do. She had to go to, I think it was softball practice.
I don't know. Just the phrasing of that is weird.
It is. Now, at that same time, throughout those years, Michelle had her own issues going on as well. She was having feelings of not feeling accepted. She wasn't pretty enough, good enough, teenage things. But she also had an eating disorder. At the age of 14 in 2011, Michelle was also prescribed psychiatric drugs as Prozac. So not long after she was prescribed Prozac, Michelle said in a text that she tried to hang herself, that she had it all ready, the stool, the noose. She stood there for 25 minutes crying while she had the noose on. And in her words, she just chickened out. But despite her going through her own problems, she did try to be there for Conrad, even if it was all through phone. Like, I think, honestly, throughout their whole relationship, they've seen each other maybe 5 times.
Dang, but she had her own demons then.
She did too, yeah. She would, every once in a while, send him articles about social anxiety and ways to be happy, and that he will eventually grow into himself and not feel like a disappointment everywhere he goes. Throughout the years, Conrad and Michelle would go through their ups and downs with being in a relationship, just friends, through their own mental issues. And they would have talks about Conrad's depressions, his other attempts, because by 2014, he attempted 2 more times. These included suffocation and water poisoning. And in June 2014, Michelle tells her parents that she feels like she's getting worse with her eating disorder and that she wants to go to the hospital. She tried to tell Conrad that maybe he shouldn't admit himself as well. And since she's going to the hospital, maybe he should go too, that they can both get through their issues together. And around June 9th, around then of 2014, she was admitted at McLean Hospital for her eating disorder. And for some reason, Conrad didn't feel like the hospital and the doctors would be able to help him. And maybe just going back on his medication will help regulate him. That part I didn't like, because if you are on antidepressants, you're not supposed to be taking them and then getting off and then taking them that's not going to help you mentally.
Yeah, I agree.
Throughout this whole time, she would try, like I said, try to help him feel better about himself. But then all of a sudden, around the end of June, there was kind of a switch with Michelle. Conrad was saying that he feels like his depression was getting worse and that he was just in pain with it all and didn't want to live like this anymore. So Michelle started to be a supporting girlfriend, and asked him on how he was going to do this task, how he was going to end it. And all of a sudden, she started giving him help with how to end his life.
Ideas, I was going to say.
Yes.
Oh, God.
She gave ideas like drinking bleach, hanging, jump off a building, stab yourself. In her words, she wrote, I don't know, there's lots of other ways. She would talk to him in the past tense and say things like, you were the best boyfriend, I'm going to miss you.
It's almost, well, honestly, now at this point, it's like she's pushing him to do it.
At this point, it sounds like a yes. Yeah. The past tense, it just sounds so weird. I don't know. It just sounds weird to me. There were also some texts that would say things like, I thought you were going to do this today and you haven't. Now it's tomorrow. I feel like you aren't going to do this. In a way, it's starting to sound like she was calling him out for like almost chickening out kind of thing. And he would say things like, I'm in the worst pain right now. It's unbearable. And so these are some texts between Michelle and Conrad on July 12th, 2014. I thought you wanted to do this. The time is right and you're ready. You just need to do it. You can't keep living this way. You just need to do it like you did last time and not think about it and just do it, babe. You can't keep doing this every day. Conrad, I do want to, but I'm freaking out for my family, I guess. Conrad, I told you I'll take care of them. Everyone will take care of them to make sure they won't be alone and people will help them get through it. We talked about this. They will be okay and accept it. People who commit suicide don't think this much and they just do it. I know, LOL. Thinking just drives me crazy. Exactly. You just need to do it, Conrad, or I'm going to get you help. Okay, I'm going to do it today. Do you promise? I promise, babe. Throughout the day, this is basically what the conversation between Michelle and Conrad consisted of. He kept saying that it was time to do this to himself, but he would start overthinking it and start worrying about his family and how they would feel and be about after this. Michelle would try to convince him that everything will be okay, that his family will be okay, and that she will be there to help take care of them, and that they know he loves them all. Conrad, at one point, thanked her for still being here, and she responds with, I would never leave you. You're the love of my life, my boyfriend. You're my heart. I'd never leave you. Throughout the day, while they were texting, he was still doing some family things, just hanging out with his family. He went to the beach with his mom and sisters, and afterwards took his sisters out for ice cream. And throughout all of that, he was still texting Michelle. Around 6:09 p.m., Conrad leaves to the Kmart parking lot in Fairhaven with a water pump in his truck. At 6:28 p.m., Conrad calls Michelle and they talk for 43 minutes. At 7:12 p.m., Michelle and Conrad talk on the phone for 47 minutes. And during this call is when she allegedly tells Conrad to get back in the truck because he had turned on the pump and he felt like it was starting to work. And so he got scared, and that's the reason he got out of the truck. At 9:19 p.m., she texts him, please answer me. I'm scared. Are you okay? I love you. Please answer. At 10:38 p.m., she texts, you're at your dad's. Camden told me. I'll get you help soon, I guess. I thought you actually did it. July 13th, that next day, his dad, who's also named Conrad Roy Jr., receives a call to go to the Kmart parking lot because there is his father's black Ford F-250 diesel truck. When he gets there, he stops at the entrance and couldn't drive up to his truck because there was just caution tape all around it. At that time, his father went up to him and told him that he had passed away with carbon monoxide in his system. Back at the house, they find a journal with the suicide notes to his family and one for Michelle. For weeks after, Michelle would message his mother, seeing if she's okay and if she needs anything, that she'll be there. There was one day when Michelle texted his mom, her name is Lynn, and said, "You tried your hardest. I've tried my hardest. Everyone tried their hardest, and we couldn't save him." After that text, Lynn started feeling like something wasn't right. What do you mean you tried your hardest? To her, that sounded like you knew something. So because of that, she immediately sent that text to the detectives. And that actually helped confirm more that something wasn't right with Michelle, with the detectives, because after the police went there and found Conrad, they also found his phone. When they charged it, they immediately went through the messages. And in the messages, he had erased every single thread except for the one between him and Michelle.
Okay. Well, obviously, because it will look bad on her, no?
No, his messages with Michelle were still there. The messages with like everybody else were gone. Like his family, his mom, dad, everybody.
Oh.
Yeah, just Michelle's was still there.
Huh.
A few months after his passing in September 13th, Michelle set up a charity for him called Homers for Conrad in her hometown of Plainville, and she posted it on Facebook. His best friend, Tom, asked Michelle why is she doing it in Plainville when all his friends and family live in Mattapoisett. Probably saying that wrong. She just says that she didn't know people in that town to help her with the charity, so that's the reason she kept it in Plainville. She even went on to question Tom if he was planning on taking her idea, and she would write LOL or ha 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 afterwards. At the event for Conrad, people were saying that she was playing the grieving girlfriend and that she played it very well because she was getting so much attention. She was taking pictures.
She was getting her 15 minutes of fame.
Pretty much.
She was enjoying it.
Yes.
That's pretty disgusting.
She was. There and all the pictures. She took a picture with his team. Like, I think she had her friends over there. She's just like big old smile. Like, just super happy.
Not a good look, Michelle.
No.
No.
A few weeks later after that, on October 2nd, detectives go to Michelle's high school at King Philip High School in Rentham, and they started asking her questions if on that day she'd spoken to Conrad and what did the conversations consist of. She told them that they had spoken about him doing this before, and when they were talking on that phone that day, he randomly hung up and she didn't think anything of it. The detectives end up taking her phone to look through it for evidence. And in there, they find conversations with her friends. She had sent a message to her friend Sam 2 days before Conrad passed away, telling her that Conrad was missing. The day after Conrad ended everything, on the 13th, she messages another friend asking if they can hang out just so she can keep her mind busy.
That's pretty bad.
In the phone, they found other messages, and I don't remember the days on there, but one of them said, "Sam, he just called me. And there was a loud noise like a motor, and I heard him moaning like someone was in pain, and he wouldn't answer when I said his name. I stayed on the phone for like 20 minutes, and that's all I heard. I think he just killed himself." Separate text. "It's all my fault. I was supposed to save him. He needed me. I let him down." And a separate text to a different friend. "Conrad's death is my fault. Like, honestly, I could have stopped him. I was on the phone with him, and he got out of the truck. I told him to get back in because I knew he would do it all over again the next day, and I couldn't have him live like the way he was living anymore. I couldn't do it. I wouldn't let him." In Commonwealth versus Michelle Carter, the court ruled that even though Michelle wasn't with Conrad physically at the time of the scene, her verbal conduct overcame Conrad's will to live and therefore caused his end.
I agree.
In the judge's sentencing memorandum, he did consider her age. She was 17 years old with 11 months. And when it came to her actions, he considered her mature because of her texts leading up to that day, her different ways on how to achieve it, and her demanding him to finish this through. Because of this, he didn't consider her to be spontaneous or impulsive. Because of wanton and reckless conduct, she caused his death by ending his own involuntary manslaughter as a youthful offender. As the case went to trial in summer of 2017, she was found guilty of the charge and she was sentenced to serve 15 months in Bristol County Jail. She began serving in February 2019 after the Massachusetts Supreme Judicial Court. She was released on January 23rd of 2020 for good behavior, and her parole ended on August 1st of 2022.
That is all she got.
That's all she got. She's
like a
out.
Slap in the hand.
Yeah, kind of, yeah. It's probably because she wasn't physically there, but she did have a help in this.
Yeah,
I don't know. It's just weird to me.
it is. It is pretty weird, but I agree with the judge. You're mature. You knew what you were doing. You're calculating.
Okay, so this, I feel a little odd with this case because when I first heard about it and hearing what she was saying to him, like, you should do it, just finish it, it did make it sound like, okay, she was planning her boyfriend's death. Like, she didn't give a crap. But then reading the texts in the beginning, like years before, months before this, she was telling him, don't do this. You're loved. Like, you need help. Let's get you help.
So what changed?
That's what I don't know. I think her side tried to argue that because she was on Celexa, she ended up being switched to Celexa later on. That mixed with her eating disorder can cause negative effects like this and just make her do this weird kind of thoughts things. They try to say that because they're so young, she was on it, and plus she has an eating disorder. And I'm not sure, I don't know if I want to see it as she got, I don't want to say tired, but she didn't want to see him in pain every day.
I mean, yeah, I agree with you. In the beginning, she was very supportive and wanted to get him help. It kind of makes sense now, their argument. I don't know. It is very odd. It's an odd situation because, I mean, in the end, she really did push him. And
She did. But I just feel bad because in the beginning she was, don't do this.
she's
Let's
very
get you help.
supportive and wanting to get him some help. But
Yeah. Even telling him, like, I know a very good mental hospital. You should go there with me and we can get through this together. And then all of a sudden,
and
like,
so, yeah, and it's a difficult. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, but
no.
it's a difficult one because she also had her own demons. Like you mentioned, she had her eating disorder. I don't know if there was other things going on.
With her situation, I feel like it's more of a like teenage situations. Like, I don't have enough friends. Nobody wants to hang out with me. I'm alone, kind of thing. That's, I don't know. That's just to me. I don't know her actual inside situation, but that's just what she would say.
Okay, I can get that.
But plus her eating disorder. And then I think all of that mixed together just got her in a different kind of depressed state.
Yeah, it's a whole different mindset.
But then all of a sudden, just that switch that, you know what, I'm going to be supportive. I'm going to help you with your idea. You don't want to listen to my idea. Let's try yours now.
What really kind of like, I don't know, makes me feel really, really weird, kind of irks me is the fact that she, like, I guess, enjoyed the time, like that whole grieving moment.
Yeah, that part was weird. Yeah.
That was, I don't
Like,
know.
I understand there are wakes for people where I think you're not supposed to be grieving, right? In wakes.
I have no clue.
I've never been to a wake, but I think that's what I've heard, that it's not a time to grieve. It's a time to remember the person.
Oh, like a celebration of life.
Something like that. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yes, because I've heard of those.
I've heard of those, but in her picture, she was just I don't know. She was too happy. She was too happy.
It did feel like 15 minutes of fame that, like, oh my gosh, like I'm getting all this attention. I'm so popular.
Yeah. Especially since she would say that through texts that I don't have friends. Like, I thought you were my friend, but you're mean to me. And then another friend would respond to her saying things like, well, it's because you're awkward around me sometimes. She was like, I'll stop being awkward around you. Just, I want to be your friend. Kind of, that's what she would message.
She liked the attention.
She did. She never had the attention from friends, other people. So she wanted, this is why this case makes me feel so weird. And I don't know what to think about it. Like, at the end, I understand you're 17 years old. You're still a kid. But I'm pretty sure you know from right and wrong. Somebody,
Absolutely.
especially somebody you say you love, it's the love of your life, wants to end it.
Most definitely.
You would
know.
Call somebody.
I mean, I really hope you would, but I guess not in this case.
Like, she didn't even tell her parents what's going on.
Oh, so they didn't know?
No. And also his mom, she didn't even know that Conrad and Michelle were dating. She met Michelle a couple times and she knew that Conrad would message her, but she didn't know they were together.
I mean, but then again, there's some teenagers who, I mean, don't tell their parents like absolutely everything, like who they're seeing.
Yeah, that's true. You're right.
I don't know. The age thing, I don't know, because you're 17 and 11 months. So you should, I'm hoping you would know what you're doing. I mean, That's more than that's old enough to know right from wrong. Like, I agree with that. But I don't know what could have caused that switch. Is it actually the medication? I have no idea. And the fact that you like enjoyed all this attention, it weirds me out.
See, this is, I've been the same. This whole case and looking it up, I've just felt so odd inside because I don't know how to feel.
Yeah, I agree. I don't know how to feel right now because after you finished saying a few things, I was like, no, like you knew what you were doing. You had a helping hand in doing, like him doing it. Like
She
you
did.
basically killed him.
She told him to get fucking back in the truck.
Yeah. So honestly, like as soon as you said that, I'm like, no, like you are guilty. But then again, there's like other things that factor in that make me kind of like go back and forth.
Right? And then also the 2 days before he ended up, doing this, she messaged her friends saying that he's missing when he was never missing. 2 days before he did this.
So she's like not all the way there either.
I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah, it's a very strange one. Let us know what you guys think, because I don't know. I'm actually at a loss for words. I don't know how to feel. Weird is the only word that I can think of.
It is, yeah. Hulu ended up making a series about this, and I didn't watch it, but it's called The Girl from Plainville.
I was gonna say, I was like, as soon as you said Plainville, I was like, oh, so
Did you watch it?
I haven't seen it, but I seen the trailer, and I am a little bit familiar with the case, not completely. Like you went in depth, mentioned things I didn't even know, which, I mean, if you can't tell, has given me a new perspective.
Good. Make you think.
It really did.
And I know this is the one I did watch. HBO made a 2-part documentary called I Love You, Now Die, The Commonwealth versus Michelle Carter.
What a title.
Right? It works.
Honestly, yeah.
Because throughout their whole text is like she's helping him on how to end it, but they're also saying I love you.
That's so strange.
It is.
I'm shocked that, actually, no, it feels strange to say. I was going to say like she didn't unalive herself, but because she was heading towards there too, right?
Oh, they only said that she thought like that once, and that was when she was 14.
Oh, okay.
After she was put on Prozac.
If you're an expert in like medications and stuff, what do you think about that? I don't know. Like the whole like being 14 and on Prozac.
That's why I say it sounds like I've heard adults taking Prozac. It sounds, I don't know, it's probably not an age thing. Like you said, it could be maybe her condition was that bad. But I don't know, to me, it does sound weird that after she ended up taking it, that's when she was having these thoughts.
That's when something snapped.
Are you talking about the snap with her own life or when she
with
switched?
him? But no. That's like years later. No.
Yeah.
Okay. Never mind. I take that back.
So that was my telling of the case known as Death by Text, Conrad Roy and Michelle Carter. So I think we already gave our odd thoughts and feelings towards this.
Yes. But let us know how you guys feel. Like, what do you guys think? Leave some comments. And then leave some comments too if you guys have seen the Hulu show. Is it interesting? Does it go more in depth? It probably doesn't because it's a TV show. Might twist some things, but I don't know. Let us know.
I think what I've read is that his mom, I think, watched some of it. And what she saw is that she didn't like that they're talking more about Michelle and not so much of actually Conrad.
Actually, I take that back. Maybe we shouldn't watch it because this girl enjoyed her fame during the process or during that time when you're supposed to grieve and just wanted attention. And now that they're out with a TV show and her name's there, and
she couldn't get any money from this though.
Good.
Any proceeds from anything made out of this.
That's a law though, no?
What do you mean, is it a law?
That's a law that if you're...
Is it a law or lot?
Law. It's a law, right? Where if you're convicted of, let's say, like manslaughter, because she was convicted of that, right?
Involuntary manslaughter.
Yeah. I thought the law was you can't get any money from like any like books or like shows or anything like that.
Is that a law? Because if that's a law, then why did he have to say it? Or do they just have to say it just to make it clear?
Correct me if I'm wrong, you guys who are very familiar with laws too, because clearly I'm not. But I thought back when I was looking into the case of, what's that famous killer's name? Son of Sam. Son of Sam. He was going to do a book deal. And then, correct me if I'm wrong, but the judge ordered, or there was a law change or law introduced that killers who are, or any person who is convicted of manslaughter cannot get any money from like proceeds or anything from like book deals, shows, movies, anything like that because of him.
Oh, I don't know about that.
Yeah, because it's been a while since I've looked into that case. But that's one thing that kind of stuck with me. So correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure that's the case.
Oh, I'm going to be so wrong with this. Wasn't that that wasn't the one back in the 70s, 80s, was it, Son of Sam?
70s?
The 70s? So that means that law could have been since back then, but they're still letting people know now?
I'm assuming it's like something you had to tell them, no? I don't know. Again, we could be completely wrong and just giving you guys the wrong information. Maybe we'll look into it. And maybe I should look into the Son of Sam and do that.
And then you can just let me know.
And then I'll let everybody know.
Well, I guess that is pretty much the end, unless there's something you want to.
I don't know. I'm kind of like still like trying to get my mind wrapped around this case. It's very strange. I don't know how to feel. Thank you, Amari, for that.
You're welcome. I'm just spreading my confused thoughts.
Now we're just
sharing is caring.
Now we're just looking at each other like, what? WTF? But thank you so much again for following us on our little journey. I want to connect it back to the beginning.
Yeah, I know. Thank you, guys.
Don't forget, we have other social media, you guys. We have Instagram, TikTok.
The every once in a while Blue Moon TikTok.
It's still there. Go enjoy it.
It's still there. It's just,
Obviously YouTube. And then if you listen to us on other platforms like Spotify, for example, or YouTube Music, or which I didn't know we were on. I didn't know that was a thing.
YouTube Music?
Yeah.
I didn't know either.
I think we're on Amazon something. Audible? Yeah, that's kind of cool. So yeah, you should go check out our actual Buzzsprout page. The link is on our bio, or in our bio oh God, I can't even speak tonight, you guys, on Instagram.
Yeah, do all that fun stuff.
Yes, please. Thank you so much. And don't forget to share our information if you like our stuff, if you like what we put out.
Like I said, sharing is caring.
Yes.
Well, everybody, be well.
Be safe.
And see you next time.
Bye.
Bye.